Hey guys, and welcome back to my YouTube channel. Today I'm going to be walking you through a week of workouts. Here I am starting off with hack squat, which I'm actually very new to. They really are a great movement if you're trying to grow your quad. And let me tell you, I have felt like my quads are so weak since starting to incorporate hack squat. They are humbling to say the least, but I have been loving this gym lately. I actually am in the process of about to switch to this gym just because I love their leg machine so much. All right, and second movement here, we have a hip thrust machine. I love this machine so much. It has taken away a lot of the work of setting up with like a barbell or even setting up a Smith machine. This is just so simple. I have been loving this machine. It really, I get the nastiest glute pump from this exercise. I am obsessed. All right, guys, next exercise here, we are doing reverse good morning. This is actually a reverse hack squat machine, but I'm doing a good morning on them instead of a regular squat. So what you really want to focus on here is really keeping your core tight and pushing those hips back to really engage your hamstrings and your glutes. This machine, they're all so humbling. All right, guys, next up we have reverse hack squat. So this is my first time ever trying a reverse hack squat. I can't even squat a plate, so I was super excited that I could even do a plate on this machine. I'm sure it's completely different though, because when you have a barbell, you are using more of your muscle groups, whereas this would be more targeted towards your legs. Just imagine you are really engaging that core, pushing your hips back, and getting as low as you possibly can to really get the most out of the squat. All right, next up we have the standing hamstring curl. So this machine will humble you. I am not joking. This machine, I thought, oh, I can do like lying hamstring for like 70 pounds. I could literally only do 10 pounds my first time I tried it. Then I went up to 20 just to see, and it is just so good for the hammies. All right, guys, next up, we are hitting a little push day. So we are targeting chest, triceps, and shoulders in this workout today. So first off, we have underhand cable chest fly. This one is so much tougher for me than the regular chest fly. Just make sure you are engaging your core in all of these movements. So like I never train core, but I always really make sure that when I am doing exercises that I am focusing on engaging my core every single time. Like with this tricep overhead extension with a single dumbbell, making sure the core is nice and tight. And here I'm just showing you like another angle of the tricep extension. So my triceps are super weak, so I have been trying to work on them more. But next up we have the shoulder press. So shoulder press is one of my favorite exercises to do on push day. I actually hit 30 pounds the other day for like 5 reps and I was like shook. So just make sure you are pushing those dumbbells up, but at the same time engaging your core. If you can see, I'm really focusing on engaging my core with every rep. All right, next exercise we have incline bench press. So I'm not so much focusing on weight here. Chest is not really my favorite to work. I do like working shoulders, so I'm just really focusing on, once again, engaging the core with every rep, doing what I can. So not trying to ego lift. All right, last push day exercise, we have lat raises. These are my favorite for a push day. Make sure you're picking a weight where you're not gonna just be throwing your arms up and down. Make sure you are engaging your core and pushing the weight up. So a push day is any exercise where you are pushing the weight. All right, guys, now we're on to my favorite day of the week, back day. Back day, best day. Am I right, besties? So up here, we are doing the seated cable row. So my gym does not have a seated cable row machine, so I made my own. I just found something to sit on and really focusing on pulling the weight back with my back muscles and not just like. All right, guys, next up we have a low row machine. So I have a love-hate relationship with this machine because it is so tough for me. This really targets the lat, the rhomboids, and the middle and lower traps. So you're getting a really good overall work of your back in this machine. Next up we have underhand barbell rows. So you can do underhand or overhand. I have been doing underhand because there are different muscle groups worked. So like in the overhand, it would be targeting your upper back muscles. Underhand would be targeting the lower back, the lats, and the traps. And I also find this is so much harder for me underhand grip, so I've been doing it more. Next up we have kayak rows. This one is so good. I haven't been doing these lately, but I've been incorporating them back into my back days. I love these. These were one of the exercises that I first learned from Whitney Simmons. So I always see her do this on her back days. It is just so good. Make sure you're really engaging the core, not just like throwing weight around, just focusing on form first and foremost, guys. So next up we have lat pull down, making sure we are bringing the weight all the way up and all the way down. So we don't want to like do half reps. Make sure you're going all the way up, all the way back down. If you have to lower the weight, so be it. We want proper form. Okay guys, so here I am setting up for a Smith machine hip thrust or glute bridge. You could do either, but I prefer the glute bridge because it targets the glutes more than a hip thrust. Hip thrust will incorporate more of your legs overall. But this is just such an easier setup, especially if you don't feel like setting up for the barbell glute bridges, which I've found that they really exhaust me when I have to set up for those. So I just prefer doing them on a Smith machine. Alright guys, next up we have Bulgarian split squats. I feel like this is everybody's least favorite leg day exercise, but they are just so glued for glute growth. So if you want to see glute growth, incorporate these into your routine. I'm going to start incorporating them more. So what you want to do is push your hips back to really make, and also with a little bit of a more forward, like lean forward some, in order to really get the glute bias instead of more quad bias. If you're more up and down, you would be more quad bias. If you're leaning forward some, it is more glute bias, Bulgarian split squats. So hopefully you find that helpful when you do these. Next up, we have barbell RDLs. So RDLs are probably my favorite leg day exercise. So what you want to imagine is that you're pushing your hips back, send your hips back like you're pushing a door shut. That has been so helpful for me in getting my form down properly. Also keeping your core nice and tight, and just make sure you're sending your hips back. Make sure you're pushing your feet into the ground so that way you really engage those. Alright guys, next up we have a little superset. So I like incorporating supersets sometimes into my leg days. I actually got this one from Christy Ann Fit. She's on Instagram and TikTok. If you don't follow her, go follow her. I love her and she is leg goals. So what we're doing here is a single leg RDL. I'm also holding on. Don't be afraid to hold on for support. I'm still trying to make sure I'm focusing on engaging my core, sending the hips back like with the barbell RDL. But with a... Alright guys, so after single leg RDLs, you want to immediately go into single leg press. That is what a superset is. Doing your first exercise, no break, immediately going into the second exercise. So we want to do about 8 to 10 reps each leg here. This is really great for glute imbalances. This helps to make sure everything is nice and balanced. If you have a weaker side, start with the weaker side. So I hope you guys found these week of workouts helpful. Let me know if you want me to do another one. I can definitely do more.